Okay, I want to show you how to use Peggiator in this video. So it's very simple. Peggiator is an instrument, so you have to throw it on a track as an instrument, and you'll see it looking like this. And then throw on another track the actual instrument that you want to hear, that you want Peggiator to control. So in this case, I'm going to have Mini Menace, and then I'm going to have Peggiator up here. And so Peggiator is going to control Mini Menace. So how do we do that? Well, you have to route the data from Peggiator into Mini Menace so Peggiator can control it. And it's different in every DAW, but in Studio One, if you hit the info button down here, you're going to see ins and outs on your tracks. So let's go to the Mini Menace track, and for the MIDI input, we want to use Peggiator. When we go back up on the Peggiator track and hit a note, it will use the pattern from Peggiator to control Mini Menace. So let's go through that again. You take the MIDI input of Mini Menace, which in Studio One is over here, or Fender Studio now, over here as ins, and just set it to Peggiator. Whatever you play in the Peggiator track now, and then you actually have to make sure Mini Menace is the one you're hearing. So just make sure that monitoring is on for Mini Menace. So if you go onto this track and hit a note, we now have Peggiator controlling Mini Menace. Now regarding the settings in Peggiator and what all these knobs do, I'm going to go over that now. So I'm going to hit a chord on my keyboard, and you hear that Peggiator is active, and you can see it by the lights scrolling through. If you turn ARP off, it just turns the arpeggiator off. I don't know why you'd want to do that, because this is an arpeggiator, but I just put it in there because I just did. If you hit random, it will randomize all the knobs. And you'll come up weird stuff. It could get very weird. So let's just go back to our presets by either clicking here or clicking the library button up here. These do the same thing. And let's just pick the top one standard ARP. If you want to scroll through other presets, you just hit the left and right arrows. Okay? Or you could go into the preset browser here and scroll through them. Okay, steps. This is how many steps the arpeggiator is playing. So if I make it 3, you'll see it's only playing 3 steps. I could go up to 16. Speed is how fast it goes through the steps. Step reset is how many steps it goes before it starts over. So you could make step reset go for like 4 steps, and it will start over from the beginning. Are you seeing that? So let me make the steps back to 8, because that's a nice, easy to see number. And if the step reset is 4, it will go 4 steps and then start over. That's what step reset is. Stride is if you want it to skip certain steps, you could do that too. So let's make it every second step it's going to play. Or every third step. This can mix things up if you have an odd number of strides and a certain even number of steps. It could mix things up, so that's kind of cool. Pattern is what the pattern of the arpeggiator is actually doing. So you can go up and down. Turn it all the way to 6 to play full chords. And then octave is how many octaves it will reach while the pattern's playing. Let's make it now 3 octaves. Gets very high. And let's put the speed back to 16, because that's a nice... Shuffle is basically swing. So if you want to give it a swingy sound, you could most pronouncedly hear this on the slower speed. Dun, dun, dun. So it's more of like a cowboy. Okay, so shuffle is how much swing you basically have. Order is the order in which the pattern plays. So if it's going up and down, order will make it go in a different way. So mess around with order and you'll hear what that does. And then hold is if you are playing a note and you hit hold, that note will still play. Look, Mom, no hands. You can turn that off. Okay, as far as the arpeggiator itself, these bars up here, you can do a lot of customization. You can just drag your mouse through the bars and adjust. So this is velocity. This is how loud each note will be played. You need to have an instrument that has velocity sensitivity turned on for this to work. So let's pop a different instrument in here. Big butter. Let's get old school here. Make sure velocity's on. And now if we make the velocities low, so let's make the velocities all high. It's very loud. Let's say we want it to go down like this. Length is how long the notes play. Get the idea? And then pitch is what note the synth is actually playing. So you get pretty weird there. So let's turn the speed up a little bit. And then make the note length like this, velocity like this. This way we could really hear what the pitch is doing. If you hold the right mouse button down and you drag, you can make a line and all the bars will follow that line. If you want everything to go back to 0, if you double click on any of the particular pitches, they will go back to 0. Same with here. These will go back to a default value if you double click on anything, and same with velocity. This is just to bring you to the tutorial video, this button up here. And so is this down here. It takes you to the same spot so you can learn how to use it. And that's what you're watching right now. So that is Peggiator. It will help you make arpeggiated stuff. Hope you like it.